What if you knew exactly why people buy from you? Would that make your life as a salesperson any easier? I bet it will. Today on The Sound of Sales, I've invited Stefan. He and his company Raw Research help companies finding out why people buy from them. And funny enough, it isn't that hard. It's just asking why. Why did you buy from me? Why didn't you buy from me? Or on cold calling, for example, why do you talk to me? Or why wouldn't you talk to me? This episode will bring you some insights that if you think like, damn it, why didn't I think of this earlier? I am Bram, and this is Sound of Sales. Hi there, me again. It would be great if you could hit the subscribe button below this video or wherever you're listening. It helps more than you think. It helps me get stuff done. Thanks a lot.
Selling is a weird thing because you don't sell, you get people to buy. If you talk to the 100 first people that onboard whatever you have created, you can propel your success like crazy. So what you need to ask now is why?
If I would call one of your children and I asked them, what does your daddy do for a living? What would they reply to me?
He makes companies and he sings all the time.
You're a singer.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I started my whole journey by singing, and literally because I always had a dream to become a CEO or be a professional musician.
It's one way or the other.
Yeah, so I did both.
It's actually pretty cool because I had the same vision when I was younger that one day I would become a rock star, but it didn't happen.
Actually, a funny thing, although this is about sales, but back when I was 19, I got a record deal in America. And,
awesome.
It was really, really awesome. But for many reasons, I didn't go there, and I thought I had a big ego. So I thought, never mind, I'll get a new one, I'll get another one. But then Napster came and literally demolished the whole industry. So I didn't get a record deal, but actually last Friday, this music guy called me and literally asked me, would you like a record deal? And I said, well, I've been waiting for this call for the last 25 years. Yes, please.
That's pretty cool. So you're still actively making music?
Yes. You can enjoy it on Spotify if you like.
Okay.
Or Apple Music and all that.
We might have to link that below the video. Awesome. It's pretty cool. So you're going to take it?
Of course. Even if I had to pay for it, you know.
That wouldn't be a good deal.
Nope. Bad deal.
That's pretty cool. But if you take us back to those years after you skipped the record deal back then and now, what happened? What's your journey?
Whoa, this is only a 1 hour podcast, right?
Yeah, let's do the short version.
Yeah, let's do the short version. As stated, always wanted to be a CEO or wanted to be a musician, and I realized very, very early in my life that having a boss is simply that's not my kind of lifestyle. It's pretty hard to have other people telling you what to do when you have your own opinion, and when you are capable of doing stuff yourself, why let other people do that stuff for you? Mm-hmm. So I began already back in college, but up at university level, it actually just that was the second year of studying economics because I needed to educate myself as a CEO. So I had no money. We had no money. My friends and I, but we really wanted to go on a skiing holiday. And we didn't have many money for it, so we were sitting and having fun. Many good ideas always come when you're drunk with your buddies. I actually think 4 of my startups, came to life by doing so. But then I asked the bunch when we were sitting, why don't we just make a skiing trip for us and everybody on all the universities in Denmark, because then they can pay for us. And so we
clever.
did, and it literally turned out that there was a huge gap in the market. There wasn't a skiing trip for universities, so we call ourselves student travel, and we became the largest player. We had several thousand people on a skiing trip to France, and it was that was weird, but it was
That's pretty
fantastic,
cool.
of course.
Yeah.
But that's where I thought, wow, I'm really good at starting stuff up. So I continued. So here, 25 years later, I had 10 startups. I made 4 exits. I raised around $4 million, and I've been part of exiting companies worth $21 million. So I had a really crazy journey, especially also because I tried to have my fingers and my mind into having a so-called unicorn, meaning I built a $1 billion business. Unfortunately, I didn't succeed with that. For numerous reasons. I don't know if we have time for that, but yeah. So
Awesome.
I had a lot of success, and I surely had a lot of failure. I went bankrupt a couple of times as well. One was with the unicorn, and that was 10 years ago. And in fact, the week after that broke down, my mother died. So I went into a long depression for 3-4 years of my life. So when people sing "Life is a roller coaster," I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So basically, you've seen all the ends of what there is.
Yes.
From starting up to building something big and then losing it again.
Yeah.
Crazy. What was that business?
That was in the shipping industry. We call ourselves Copenhagen Shipping Exchange, and we started by drinking, which was quite fun. It was just after the banking crisis. I just exited my first company back then, which was a marketing agency, Scandinavian based, and he said to me, we were of course drunk, "Let's buy a ship." I said, "What?" "Let's buy a ship." And I said, "Why? Why should we buy a ship?" And it turned out that due to the banking crisis, you could actually buy a vessel. It's not called a ship in the shipping industry, for with a 90% discount due to what was happening. So you could literally buy a ship and scrap the ship and make more money on the steel from the ship than actually operating.
Yeah, makes sense.
But we knew nothing about shipping, and that's the beauty. What I love about entrepreneurship is to jump into a new industry and say, what is going on here? And it's actually a lot to do about it with sales. I'm a commercial startup entrepreneur, and I believe, and that's actually, if there are any founders or any startup guys actually listening to this, the most companies I've seen succeeded in my lifetime has been due to the fact that you've had a commercial person in that company, and that is the sales guy. However, not performing sales, but performing business development. which is sales in the end. But the mission to strive for is different, because it's not only just about closing a sale, it's about finding out why people want to buy, and more importantly, why people don't want to buy. Because during my depression, I hated having a depression. It's a physical thing, so I could just feel this dark cloud around me. I was like, I want to do something. Let me do something. Get out of this misery. And I watched a lot of TED Talks and stuff like that. and I learned. I can't remember where I got the idea from, but somebody said, well, the best gift is to give, is to help other people. That is what makes you the happiest person. So I started helping a lot of startup founders, hundreds actually. But although it helped me to become a more happy person, I also learned a crazy thing. Because when I ask some guy who wants to start up a company or started up a company, I ask them, so what do your clients say? And all of them, or 99 out of 100 founders, they say, I don't know, we don't have any clients yet. And I'm okay, so what does your potential clients say then? And nobody knows, because they forget the most important part of actually building a company. Mm-hmm. And the most important part are your clients. It's not your product.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that you notice that as well if you're building a product, for example. You're constantly in the mode of, we need to build this or that or the other, and you forget about why people buy what you do or why people come to you.
Or would people even come to you?
Yeah, indeed.
I've seen that so many times. They've been sitting in the basement coding and doing great presentations and all that, and then they go out and then they find out nobody wants to buy us. And it's so stupid, because you've been spending 2 years down your basement. Because also another thing about startups, you don't find any startups that haven't pivoted before they became a success. And the reason why they pivot is because they begin realizing, oh, that's what our clients like to have. Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with Outreach, the sales engagement platform. They were an HR tool before, and then their clients started to notice like, oh yeah, you're using your tool yourself for something else, which was selling. Mm-hmm. And then they realized that their clients actually wanted to buy that more than the other tool. And
you know how you find out? It's pretty easy. Mm-hmm. You call your clients and you ask them, tell me, why did you buy from us? And that's actually the company I founded here 3 years ago. Now we incorporated in the United Kingdom. That's where my journey started with all this, because I realized the biggest problem, and it's not only startups. This is like all B2B companies in the world. They don't know why their clients buy from them. I learned, now we did over 100 of, we call it a reality check, which is a customer and employee survey and gap analysis, where we ask 3 raw questions. That's why it's called raw research, and because I'm Mr. Raw. We asked them, why did you buy from us? How satisfied are you on a net promoter scale? And third, how can we improve? And I learned with this process, when you ask people internally in a company, and it doesn't matter whether you're a startup or you are a sales representative, being part of a 300 sales people team. When you ask 10 people internally in a company, why do you believe your clients buy from you? Guess how many different answers you'll get?
I think the exact amount of people you ask. Any size of company.
And in the beginning I was like, hold on, okay, you guys don't get what you do. But then I continued, and it was like, oh my God, nobody knows why their clients are buying from them. Of course, they're in different positions and stuff like that. But when you look at the, of course, Simon Sinek or Simon Sinek, I don't know how to say his name. He's talking about the big why, but nobody knows why. And the point is, the why clients buy from you is actually the only reason why this company exists.
Yep.
Because if there was no reason to buy from you, you wouldn't have a company. You know, it's actually as simple as that. So in my and that's why I actually always created a positive traction and success with all of my companies. Although despite maybe I went bankrupt afterwards, but in the beginning I always created traction. But I didn't. I thought everybody was doing it. You know, talking to clients, understanding why they buy from them. Because reality is, if you have 10 clients and you ask them, then at least 5 of them buys on the same premises. And in many, many cases, all of them buy on the same premises. And the crazy part of that essence that your clients believe are the reasons why they buy from you are almost never the reasons you believe they buy from you. And that's so stupid, because then you have 10 sales guys, or if you're a lonely sales guy or whatever you are, then, you know, you might as well find out what your essence is for your company, because it's your essence, it's your foundation. And when you start talking about what matters to your clients or your customers, for some reason, it's not magic. They like to talk to you. They like to find a solution towards their problems. And it's so easy to find out. You just need to call them and ask them. And that's why I created the raw research, because I realized, okay, nobody's asking their clients. Somebody need to.
Yeah, you see a lot of companies that just make assumptions towards this topic, that think this is the way we're going to sell. And if somebody new comes in, a new salesperson, for example, they give like, these are our ICPs and they buy from this and this and this reason, or we have that assumption.
And they don't go out and test it to see whether it's right or not. Yeah, they do some marketing and send out they do some A/B split testing on assumptions. Why not start marketing based on what is reality?
But what do you think is the reason that people don't ask the question? Are they hesitating to like nudge their clients with like, hey, why did you buy? Because that would make them look uncertain or something? What do you think is the...
Yeah, I have several CEOs, they have that decline to buy a reality check simply because they're afraid to get the answers. But what kind of leader are you if you're afraid of facing your reality? What? So some of them say, what if all of them, they say they don't like us? Well, then you need to do something about it, right? If you don't know, then you're just running, a path that's not stable. And when you look at, especially with B2B companies, when you look at those companies who are most successful, I know for a fact, based on our own research, based on our own deliveries to our clients, that they are the guys who knows why their clients buy from them. Because as soon as you got that empirical wisdom, if you may, then you can start scaling what actually matters. And if you're a sales guy, this is what you use in the beginning.
Of course. Yeah. Start with why, but then you have your true why. Yeah. Because that is also one of the most difficult exercises. It's like in the beginning of your startup or any company, like people say like you need to go to Simon Sinek and read the book or watch the TED Talk. And then you need to start with why. Yeah. I've had a lot of startup founders that I talk to, and it's like, yeah, but how do you go about finding out the why?
you call your clients and you talk to them.
But it's like that is in no one's head to do that. It's like that is. I don't know why. I don't understand.
No, I have one theory. Economics, when you study business, the Bible, Holy Bible of marketing is called marketing management. It's almost in any curriculum anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
It's Philip Kotler who made the brick. I will
Yep.
call it a brick because it's goddamn thick.
Yep.
But
I have it here somewhere.
yeah. Yeah, you can actually find it, and then you can read the preface, because it's so funny. In the preface, Philip tells us that the most important thing is to talk to your clients. And then he spends the next 1,000 pages
Yeah, indeed. Literally.
on how you don't talk directly to your clients, because that's marketing. So I actually think one of the biggest reasons for that failure is that people don't read the preface.
Yeah, probably. I haven't read it. And I need to take a look at it when the episode ends.
It's funny.
But how do you go about? Is it a survey that you do, or is it literally picking up the phone?
Yeah, it's a survey, but it's not a mail survey, because when you, that's also a crazy thing. Especially SaaS companies are doing. They're relying everything on Net Promoter Score on a mail survey, going out to all your clients, hoping they will answer on a scale from 0 to 10. How likely are you to recommend us to another client or colleague? And the framework is really, really good, but it's the distribution part that really fucks up, because the only answers you get back are all the guys who really hate you and the guys who really love you. And reality is, those who hate you, well, you're not going to make more money on them. They're on their way out. And the guys who really, really love you, and pardon, I'm not hoping I'm offending anybody, but they're the guys you also don't make any money on, because they're always interfering. They always want more. They're so interested in, and you spend so much time on it. So that part is not scalable as well. So all these companies are actually getting the intelligence from all the haters, and all the people you don't make money on, and then you build a strategy going forward based on that knowledge.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you can't use your email to get the answers from your clients. And why? It's pretty easy to answer that why. Would you?
No, probably not.
Probably not. When was the last time you filled out a marketing survey for whatever?
Yeah, that was actually a few weeks ago. Wait. But they had to send me, I think, 4 or 5 WhatsApp messages and a few emails, and it took them a couple of reminders and a physical meeting as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
People don't do that.
No, so I believe the only way you can do that is to call them. Anyway, that's what I learned and what I know. There are no other ways, I'm sorry to say. And you just call them and you ask them why. They will tell you. They're actually really happy for that call. It turns out that 20% of our clients' answers to our third question, how can we improve? 20% of all these answers, they state by making this call.
Yeah. We did that as well, or we still do that, but a little less. I have to pick it up again. If we see that people start onboarding, for example, and they stop somewhere, it's like giving them that call, like, okay, I've seen you started onboarding, but you quit. What brought you to us in the first place? So what triggers you, and why did you quit? And then you have like golden answers, and those are the answers that you need. Well, and if you match that against who the person is, so is it one of our ICPs, for example, that should have ended the onboarding? Then you have that first party data that you get nowhere else. And still is the last thing that people do. Is the last thing that they do. They look at data from onboarding tools like or even Google Analytics, where did you get? Oh, there was your drop off.
Yeah.
Without knowing why there was a drop off, but they tend to start fixing the issue based on that data.
Yeah.
Without giving them a call.
Yeah, I believe, and this goes to any founder, so that includes you, Ram. I believe any founder who doesn't directly speak to the first 100 clients of their company's lifetime, well, you should, you know. When you think 3-4 years out in the future, what would actually have happened if you talked to all 100, all those who actually weren't your ICPs, all those who didn't even pay but they tried to onboard? If you talk to the 100 first people that onboard whatever you have created, you can propel your success like crazy. Because then you will know everything. You will know everything. You will understand your why, and you will know what to improve, and you will know where you know where to fix the onboarding and part and stuff like that. I'm mentoring startup guys, and last week they had this onboarding platform, and he said, it's so annoying. The last 2 weeks, 80 people onboarded our platform, and I don't know why, and I can't get in contact with them and all that. So I don't know. And then I said, then remove the onboarding. Remove the onboarding. Make it only possible for you to get on board the platform by getting in direct contact with the founder. Who doesn't want to talk to a founder?
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Anyway, these days, back when I was 25 years ago, when I started as an entrepreneur, we at least in Denmark, we were the most hated kind of people. Losers, and now suddenly, I don't know what happened, but founders are rock stars now, and everybody wants to talk to a founder because it's interesting, because we are creating stuff. Of course, it's nice to talk to a person like that. It's inspiring. So don't be afraid. The most important thing to do is to fuck up.
That's true.
It's to fuck up, because it's only when you fuck up you improve. You don't improve by doing successful stuff.
Yeah, it's something. I'm not sure if you're familiar. You know the email tool Superhuman?
Yes.
Yeah, in the beginning, they did that survey thing. Don't know if you read it, to look for their product market fit. So it was by Hittenshaw or how you pronounce the name. But I feel like they skewed their results, because they looked at the questions, they looked at the people that said, would you recommend it, or would you use another tool? And then they had agree or don't agree or in between. And then they skewed their answers, because the people that were in between, they felt like we have margin on them. So they included them in the agree.
Well, I would say you have to look at all of them. You have to look at all of them. You have to understand your entire potential population, because if you haven't read the book, you should read Across the Chasm. It's a pretty old book, but it states, and it's true, that you only have 5% of a market that is ready and willing to be the first idiot to buy a new, buy a new solution.
Yeah.
So it's not about finding your potential market. It's about finding those 5% that actually are willing to deal with you, because that's the only way you're going to move forward anyway. And they are usually the ones that jump on board your platform, and if that's not what they wanted, jump away.
Yeah. So the most important thing that you should do is, when you create a new tool, make sure you ask for their phone number.
Yeah.
We did the pivotal moment there when you go from a trial to paid. What we had in the beginning was you moved from trial to free version, but you could pay. And that's when people started telling us, like, you need to have a hard stop. You need to either give them the option to talk to you, or you need to give them the choice that they move to a free version. It should be a choice that they make. And then we had the problem that we didn't have phone numbers. So
Yeah, here's an idea. You can even send out an email to them and say, hey, you want an extra free month? Give me a call.
Today's episode is brought to you by LeadCamp. LeadCamp is a platform that helps sellers sell. Think of your sales team as a football team. You can train them all you want. If they don't have guidance on the field, they are already behind. LeadCamp gives your sales team that guidance on the field, as it analyzes all interactions with prospects and provides each salesperson with guided selling, so they spend less time guessing what the next move should be. What are like other quick wins that you can think about that a startup can implement to get that stuff going?
I will ask you a question. Product market fit. What is product market fit?
I think it's very subjective.
Is it?
I think it means something. It's like...
it's not even a theory. It's I think it was Andreessen, Mark Andreessen, one of the... he tweeted 15 years ago or something about product market fit, and since then, because he's the most successful VC in the world, everybody, especially all the VCs, are talking about product market fit, product market fit, product market fit. Everybody. Last year, I had a because Corona, I had an online meeting with a private equity partner. And he was pitching me because we were raising for one of my clients, and but he was pitching me. So we invest in the companies and we help them achieve product market fit. I said, okay, how do you do that? And he literally was sitting in his rowing boat, rowing around his lake for 7 minutes. But when you actually think of what product market fit is, it's about your product fitting your market, the market wanting your product. It needs to match. So what is it that you need to match? In my mind, it's your value proposition. Mm-hmm. This is how you achieve product market fit. As soon as your potential client buys on the same premises as your existing clients, and most important, you are aware of it, you have product market fit.
And you only find out by talking to people.
Yeah.
It actually sounds so simple and easy to do.
Yeah, and that's what all the VCs are talking about. It's just one sentence. You need to find the driver in your product and in your market. And that driver, what else can it be but your value proposition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something. Actually, what some startups do is they fix their product first. So they go about iteration, they go about reading the data, and then trying to get it sticky. So they know, like, okay, if we do Google Ads, for example, we put 1,000 people in, we have the product so productized that 900 people will buy at the end of it. But what is actually a better strategy is to do that productization, if that's a word. To do that while you have a business development guy who's trying to find as many answers as possible and have the iteration based on that.
That's the key, because you can just call those guys who've onboarded your platform and by the way neglected you from that point of time. Call them and ask, what does it take for me to make you buy? Mm-hmm. Well, I want 3 carrots and blah, 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 whatever. I want a blue logo or onboarding socks or whatever. When you ask that question, you get the answers because there's no reason for them to lie.
Yeah.
Because they actually tried to buy from you but they didn't get to. They really, really tried. You are solving my problem. No, you're not. So how can I solve your problem? What value are you looking for? What is it you want to achieve? And how can we help you achieve that? When you understand that, you can scale your company.
Yeah, and your sales will be much easier because you're selling from something that you know will stick to them. And if it doesn't, you split ways. It's like, we are not the product for you.
And another thing, when I refer to it as the market-driven value proposition, your real product market fit, magic really happens inside your team when everybody realizes what the essence of this company in fact is. When everybody knows why people are buying from you, you know why you go to work. Why do you go to work?
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't matter whether you're the CTO or you're the sales guy or you're the cold canvas guy in the company or you're the product guy or the CFO for that matter. If everybody agrees on the essence of the company, magic happens.
Yeah, and it's something that you see with a lot of larger companies or like I was talking with someone from Deliveract who helps the restaurants and that sort of stuff. And it's something that you notice a spark in the culture of the company, that everybody, all visions are aligned.
Yeah.
And you only achieve that when everybody knows what they're doing for what they're doing it. It's not so much that you can tell someone, yeah, we're making software. If that is just a thing, then all your employees were like, yeah, it's a software. While if you really understand why are people buying from us, you have that vision, that drive.
Yeah.
And then the world opens up. It's almost like,
Yeah, exactly. And the beauty, you don't know. You don't know before you ask. Even me, being the founder of the idea of how to do it, I didn't know either. I failed. We took our own medicine and we asked all our clients. I thought it was because it's a novel approach and we are motivating and we help you align. It's nothing to do about that. We help companies, we help leaders take better decisions for their companies. That's what they like about it, because they get an empirical evidence foundation for what you do. So, if you can just align your staff with your market, do you think you'll get success? In Denmark, we're pretty ironic.
But I see why you call it raw research. It's something that you have to bring it quite harsh, I believe, for people to understand and have it tip in their mind.
Yeah, let me tell you statistics of it. Only 1 in 25 B2B companies agree with their clients on why they buy from them.
The company agreeing with their client.
Yeah.
So their client tells them, this is why we buy, and the company says, no, that's not the reason.
Exactly. That's 24 out of 25 cases. Only 1 out of 25 cases.
Yeah.
They agree. They say the same. This is 4%. This is like if I had an incubator or doing a conference with 100 founders in one room. Only 4 of them would know what the fuck they're doing. Pardon my French.
Crazy.
So is there any place for improvement? Yes. And how do you do it? You talk to your clients.
Yeah, you buy a phone.
Yeah, you buy a phone. But people are not doing it because they're afraid of getting the no, or they don't like us or anything like that. I even had a client once that was crazy, where we started in the beginning because nobody believed of what I was saying. So we went directly physically to the client And we sat there, and on the meeting, we started calling clients and asking them why. We already did it several times before that, but this client, they said, oh, well, they told us why, and I'm glad you called. I would like to cancel my subscription.
Oh.
And then we called 2 more, and the same happened. and the CEO, he got so furious. How we dare to do that? I'm pretty raw. So I went back on him. I said, excuse me, you know what just happened? We just called 3 out of the pocket clients and talked to them, and they canceled. Don't you think you have a problem?
If that happens, I don't think the CEO will call people again.
But he should, because
yeah, true.
By the way, that company is dead now, because he didn't dare to do that. But you get to face what the real problems are instead of what you think and what you believe and what your gut feelings are. It's weird to operate and manage a fantasy. But
yeah,
that's
but
what people do.
Yeah, but I understand why people hesitate on it, because it's not only the no's that you might get, but I think if I think about it, I don't do it enough. So let's get that out there. But
that's why I have a business. Don't worry, Brian.
Yeah, indeed. So that's why you are where you are existing there. But what I believe is that for some people, if you call up a client and you ask them straight out, why did you buy from us? It's also something you open yourself up that you're not sure about your business. Like it's something, you know what I mean? You feel like that can be for...
You don't know your business.
Yeah, indeed. But it might make them wonder again, like, they don't know why they sold to us.
No, because they're afraid, of course. Did I just spend a year developing something that nobody wants?
Mm-hmm. Or that. Yeah. But yeah, I've seen cases of for example, it's super information for sales, but it's also super useful information for product teams. And indeed, I've had an occasion that I've seen with a startup that there was a product guy that was asked like, okay, why don't we just call up our clients, or why don't we just call up people? And what you notice is if you bring that to the table, it seems like a good idea, but it's always the last thing on the to-do list. It's like, okay, but we need to put that fire out first, and we need to launch that product feature first. Yeah. While basically it might take you 1 day to call 20, 30 people, like if you have decent conversations. Yeah. And you have like a shitload of information to go build that feature, or even scrap it from your roadmap.
Yeah. Do people actually want it, or is it just you creating it? I've done that so many times. I had that discussion so many times in my different companies, because why do you want it? But our clients don't want it. Why should we build it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's often forgotten how simple life can be.
Yeah. But I also think I would hope that every sales guy who hears this, he realizes how much superpower he actually possesses. Mm-hmm. Because it's not about selling. Selling is a weird thing because you don't sell, you get people to buy. That's also what you do as a salesperson. The huge, sorry, pardon again, motherfucker sales guys who are the best sales guys in the organization, any organization, they don't sell.
Yeah, you build a relation with the other person at the other side based on the value proposition. If you know what you're selling, if you know the product that you have, let's not call it selling. If you have the product and you can match it with the other person's problem, it's something that somebody else on the episode said is like, a salesperson is a bringer of good news. I have good news. I can solve your problem. But you can't do that if you don't know what you have.
Know what you're solving.
If you don't know that, it's like but you have that in some companies, that every conversation with a client is different.
Yeah.
Because based on what that prospect is telling you, you're like shifting your offering a little bit. It's like, ooh, it's somewhere there. It's among those lines.
I see sales as you are a guide for your potential client to find out whether this is a good match for you.
But you need to understand why it works for other people. You need to understand why, because otherwise it's just like a piece of software, for example.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and hopefully you'll make even more podcasts, because that's the final answer to everything. You have to talk to your clients.
Yeah, it's sometimes you don't have to look far for it. It can be just in front of you.
And yeah, I created an empirical way of cold calling that empirically works, and takes out the suffering of getting a no, by the way. And it's pretty easy. You take the phone number, find out who to talk to. You call him and you say, "Hi, my name is Stefan. I call from this company. I sell this value proposition. Would you like to talk to me about that?" Mm-hmm. Then he can say yes, or he can say no. Most people say no, of course. But there are 3 reasons why people say no. Number 1 is they hate salespeople calling you. That's number 1. But this call was weird, because the guy who actually called me, he told me what he was selling. That's like that's like a 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 1,000 cases. I'm saying, I'm selling this. Would you like to talk to me? And when you hate salespeople calling you, you're like, what? No, I have to ask you, what are you selling? Tell me what you're selling.
Yeah, it's also the number 1 reason that you learn with cold calling is make a conversation, don't pitch.
But the beauty, I'm saying, I'm selling this value proposition. I'm not saying, do you like me? I'm saying, do you like this value proposition? So when he says no to me, he's not saying no to me personally, so I don't get hurt. He's saying no to my value proposition. The second reason why he says no is because he doesn't have time. He just picks up the phone. Most people do, even when they're in toilet. They pick up the phone. I don't know why they pick up the phone when they're busy, but they're busy. Stop picking up the phone, but they pick up the phone. So that's the problem number 2. The third reason is actually that they don't want to talk to you about your value proposition. So what you need to ask now is why. If you say no to me, why don't you want to talk to me? You can say, well, it's because I hate salespeople. Fine. There's no reason for us to talk then. I'm busy. When you ask, why don't you want to talk to me? Oh, I'm busy. Okay, can I call you in a couple of hours, or should I call you tomorrow? No. Why? Well, because I don't like your value proposition. Why? Well, because, and then you start getting the real answers from your market on why your value proposition doesn't work. But even, and this is the learning you get from this, when he says, yes, I want to talk to you. This is where the actual most important why comes. And nobody in the world I've heard of, if you're a sales guy, because, wow, finally somebody wants to talk to me. You wouldn't ask them why, because it's so provocative to say.
But you can rephrase it. You can like...
No, you don't have to rephrase it. You have to ask them, why do you want to talk to me? Because then they stop up. And then they think of, why do I actually want to talk to this schmuck? Oh, it's because your value proposition does this and this and that. Ah, thank you very much. Now I have all the weapons for the rest of this conversation.
Indeed, that's half of your discovery that you have just done by just asking that question, because you know instantly what triggered the person to say like, yes, I want to talk to you because
now I know why you want to talk to me. Great. So here comes my elevator pitch, a sales pitch. So I'm selling this subscription, or I'm selling bananas, or whatever pitch you can perform. I would always suggest to make it as short as possible, because we are all stupid. We can't grasp that much in our lives, so make it short. But tell the value proposition, tell the pitch. So we're selling blah, 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 and then ask, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
And then they will tell you. They will tell you, I think that sucks.
Why? You go with why again, no? or not?
Of course. But and after I've talked to, and that's the beauty of it. It doesn't matter whether you're a 19-year-old sales guy or you're 75 years old. When you understand that, then you can create a pitch where a lot of people would actually say, after you ask them, what do you think of this? That actually sounds really interesting. Well, you told me now why you like my value proposition, why you want to talk to me, and you like my product. What else is there to know? The only thing you need to know now is when. Mm-hmm. When would be a good time for me to present our product for you? Or when are you ready to buy? Well, call me next year. Or I want to buy now.
That's like cold calling 101 for dummies.
Yeah.
And still so easy.
Yeah, but nobody do it. It's so weird.
No, a lot of people make a huge challenge out of it.
But it is hard. It's hard, of course. You especially when you're a founder, it's bloody hard. I've been working so many hours, and now you're telling me no. Yeah, but now it's not about you any longer. It's about the value proposition. Mm-hmm. And the beauty when I teach people in organizations how to do this, it's so funny to hear the conversations, because so we sell this value proposition, and you can hear the people probably saying no, and then you can hear the sales guy, oh, why? And they're like, the other side is like, what? I just told you I hate you. Yeah, interesting, really good. Tell me why.
Give me more. It's like the children's game when everybody did it when they were younger. It's like when you can't get something from your mom, it's like, why?
Yeah, you need to find out why, so you can cheat her, so you can get that fucking cookie.
Yeah. And it's like if you ask the question, I think if you ask it 10 times, you come to the final answer or something like that.
Oh, you learn from your mother that if you ask why 10 times, you actually get the cookie.
Awesome. The time is flying by.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. If I can ask you a last question. I give you a billboard at the side of the road, at the side of a highway, a large billboard, and you can put anything on it except marketing related stuff. I have to give that disclaimer. What would you put on it?
Be good. Be raw. Stay raw.
Can you walk me through it?
No, I believe, if you're a good sales guy, if you're a person, I think what we can achieve as people, as humans in this world, is to do good, because we are all part of a social circle. We're part of other people, and we are affected by it. We might as well do good.
It's as simple as asking why.
Yeah. Just be a good person. But I don't want it. Why not? What do you gain out of not being a good person? Be good. Be raw. Be direct.
It might help you more than you think, actually.
Yeah, because then you start living in the real world, because that's what all humans do. They are part of other people's lives. So if you jump into that circle of life instead of standing outside, then you feel life much better. And if you're being raw, meaning direct and honest in everything you do, then you will also understand why.
It will be appreciated as well by the people. And the ones that don't appreciate it, then they don't need to be around you.
Exactly. Stop wasting time on people that really doesn't matter.
Yep. I love that one. Well, Stefan, thanks for sharing all your insights on the reason why people should ask why to other people. I'm thinking about a name for this episode. It will be something along those lines. I love it. Thank you for joining me on
Thank you, Brandon. It was great. It was amazing. Thanks.